Hey guys, I'm back. How you guys doing? What's going on? I wanted to come out here and thank you guys for the 100 subscribers. I really appreciate it. It's a milestone. It's definitely a milestone, and you have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. And I checked the date too of my very first video when the channel first was created, and that was February 3rd of 2025. So it didn't take long to get here, which I'm very happy about. It only took about a month just to get here. So that's a wonderful thing. And I just want to thank you guys because it's true. It's like without y'all watching and supporting and liking and subscribing, then the channel would literally be nothing. It wouldn't be nothing without you guys. So I got to give some sort of thanks out here to y'all because it's a great milestone, and the next goal will be 500. That's the next one, and maybe I can plan out something a little bit more with that one. This is 100. This is the first step, so I at least want to come out here and thank you guys and just let y'all know. I've come a long way with this wrestling thing. I have like I used to watch wrestling. This is for new people. Um, I used to watch wrestling back when I was a kid. Like I remember the whole Attitude Era. I was watching it during the WCW era. I remember the ECW stuff. I was watching all of that, when I was young, and I watched it. I say maybe up to the part, maybe. You know what? I stopped watching wrestling when John Cena came. Like a little bit after when John Cena first came, that's when I stopped watching wrestling. For real. I stopped, and I stopped for years. For years. And I did not come back to wrestling because this is an interesting story. But I did not come back to wrestling until October of 2019. Yep, I think it was October of 2019. And what made me get back into watching wrestling, I think one of the main things that got me into wrestling is because I was a big sports fan. I'm not as much of a sports fan as what I used to, but I did sports before I did wrestling. Like I used to do basketball, yeah, mainly basketball and football and picks like that. I used to do boxing. I used to talk about the games, and then I kind of fell off from sports after a while. After a while, I got tired of it. After watching sports and going through it for like 10 years straight, I'm like, nah, I just started getting into other stuff. But then, so I left sports alone for a while. And then eventually I realized SmackDown was coming on Fox because I like to watch a lot of the shows on Fox, especially back then. There was a lot of stuff I watched on Fox, around prime time. So I'm like, SmackDown coming back. I'm like, man, because I remember, when I was young, a kid, I remember watching SmackDown back in the day, back in the day when it was before it had left. So I'm like, this might be interesting. I'm like, let me go ahead and watch. And I remember how it was in 2019. Wrestling in 2019 is way different than what it is today in 2025. I remember back then, one of the big things at that time was Bray Wyatt. And I remember Bray Wyatt was really doing all that crazy trippy stuff right around Halloween because it was in October. And I started catching on, back then Roman was still a face before what he is today, So I didn't even like Roman when I first started watching wrestling. I swear I did not like him. I remember Corbin used to put the dog food in his mouth, but now I do like Roman. This was before the whole bloodline thing. And then I just started watching the shows at that point. Like I didn't start streaming or nothing. I think it took me at least maybe about a year, maybe or so before I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start streaming these shows. I'm like, man, I'm just gonna start streaming them. And I think that's how I started. I started streaming the pay-per-views. Yep, this is that's how it started for me. Just streaming the pay-per-views. And I did that for a while, and then eventually I started streaming SmackDown and Raw. Eventually I wanted to do more. Like, man, I want to do more of this, and I started doing that. And then I started making videos by watching other cause what made me start making videos and start putting out my own ideas and theories and opinions and picks is because I used to listen to a lot of YouTubers on here. I still to this day, but it's a lot of YouTubers on here that I will come on and listen to their opinions. And I just felt like it was so much stuff to be said that I wasn't really hearing from other people. I was like, man, I want to start making videos because I'm like, man, I got my own thoughts and my own opinions, and watching it consistently. Because honestly, I've been watching it consistently since 2019. I really haven't missed no shows, pretty much, not really, unless I was like sick or something. I haven't missed no shows, no pay per views. So I've been really watching it hardcore, and I'm like, I'm starting to like get better at predicting stuff and figuring things out. So I'm like, man, let me start making videos and start putting it out there. And then that kind of was doing really well. Like, I mean, my pay-per-view streams used to do extremely well back then, but my videos is what really kind of got the attention, you know. And then eventually, and it became the main thing I was doing. And this is on an older channel. Like, I got a whole nother channel that I was doing my wrestling content on, and eventually I had to leave. I had to leave that channel with the wrestling content because I felt like the channel was just too much different stuff. I'm talking about wrestling, then I'm doing other stuff, then I'm live streaming about other stuff. And I wanted to put my wrestling content, which was my main content at the time, in just a place and just focus on it there, and it could just be there. And I felt like it'd be simpler and easier for people to just tune in or watch more videos or maybe subscribe because they know it's just a full-blown wrestling channel. And that's where I kind of am today. That's where I am today. Now, I do know some people from the old one did come here, but I think not everyone. I know when you move, sometimes people just don't want to move, but I definitely know that there are some new ones here as well. So we're going to try to continue this growth on this new channel. I appreciate it. I really do. I'm proud of it. Like, I'm really happy I did that. I am, because now it's like a fresh start. You know, I was sitting on that other channel doing wrestling for like what, like 3-4 years, or really consistently for at least for sure the past 2 or 3 years consistently. I definitely got more consistent when Mr. H came in, but I was doing shows before while Vince was still in the building. But yeah, and now we're here. Now we're here, and it is a fresh start, and I'm happy for that. I'm happy, and yeah, it's not a big giant channel. Yeah, it doesn't have thousands and tens of hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but for what it is, I do think it does pretty well. And I think starting over fresh like this was a great idea. And thank y'all too. Again, I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. That's why I wanted to at least tell my story a little bit about how I got here. Now, there's way more things I can tell y'all about myself when it comes to wrestling, like who's my favorites, and all of this like that. But I think it was a good start just to just know where I kind of came from to where I got, how I got here. And thank you. And hey, please hit that like button now. Oh, and don't think that, oh, now y'all not gonna get no other video, because I know some people might be like, dang, now we ain't gonna get no other video because he made the thank you. Nope, I'm gonna be working on that right after this. I already have an idea of what I kind of want it to be about, because this just is, man, there's so many strange things. But all right, see you guys later. Peace out.